Let's talk about parking passes in the Northwest. So for paddleboarding, there is a lot of beautiful places where you do not need a parking pass to get in, but there are also a lot of wonderful places that we like to visit that you may need some sort of pass. So the main difference between these are basically whether it's owned by the federal government or if it's state property. I'm mostly going to be talking about Washington and Oregon because these are the places that I'm most familiar with and have had passes in these places. Main differences between the passes are whether or not the land is owned by the federal government or by the state. So I'll go into a little bit more depth here, but take a look at what places you're going to be paddling the most, and then you'll be able to determine which pass is best. The first pass I'm going to talk about is the America the Beautiful Pass, also known as the Interagency Pass. Now this one is the most expensive, but it also gets you into the most places. This pass is valid at more than 2,000 different recreation sites nationwide and gets you into places that are operated by the National Park Service, the U.S. Forest Service, Fish and Wildlife, and a few other agencies. A fun fact about this pass is that fourth graders can get this pass for free, and so can active military and veterans. The next pass I'm going to talk about is the Northwest Forest Pass. Now you don't need this one if you already have an America the Beautiful Interagency Pass, but it's a great alternative if you're not going to go to all of those places and you want a slightly cheaper pass. This one only gets you into places in Washington and Oregon that are specifically operated by the Forest Service. Let's talk about the state passes. In Washington, it's called the Discover Pass, and in Oregon, it is your Oregon State Parks parking permit. So these options get you into a bunch of state parks, a bunch of other water access points, places that are managed by the state Fish and Wildlife, and natural areas, wildlife areas. There are quite a few. So these are both great options. I know for the Discover Pass, you can purchase it when you go to renew your tabs on your vehicle. You can also borrow one from your local library, so that's pretty cool too. Now, for all of these passes I've mentioned, there are options to volunteer your time in order to get a free pass, and there are also a few fee-free days throughout the year. I will link a list of them down below, but they include World Mental Health Day, Earth Day, Veterans Day, and there are a handful of other days as well that are fee-free for both state and federal lands. So those are great options to take advantage of. You can also purchase these passes at a lot of local vendors as well as online. Now online, keep in mind, most of the time they do charge you for shipping, making the pass a little bit more expensive, but you can check out your local vendors as well as any agency offices if they are nearby. One more thing to remember is that these are for day use only. This doesn't include camping or other things that you do need to have specific reservations and pay extra for. This is just for going in for the day and then paddling around and leaving same